I mean, I think some of the best investments for the self-directed solo 401ks or the uh, self-directed IRAs can be. Yep, well, I had to move. Welcome to Flex Life Fi. And so we're talking about the self directed solo 401k, and most of these would also apply to a self directed uh, IRA, but that would also include having a intermediary that is controlling everything for you as opposed to your checkbook solo 401k. Um, that would sometimes preclude you from some investments. So, with your self directed solo 401k, the best investments are typically considered like your real estate investments and that kind of thing, but sometimes we don't have enough in our solo 401k to start out with huge investments like 50, 60, 100,000, 200,000 to do that kind of thing. So I was thinking, what other types of investments might you be able to make? And so I went in and made some smaller investments. So I was going to go over some of those other investments that you might be able to start out with that would start to bring returns into your solo 401k that is self directed, and see about having some extra returns. That way you can make some larger investments in the future. So I invested in Gigastar through WeFunder. I've invested in micro ventures, and I've invested in an actual YouTube channel through Gigastar. I have invested in some mineral rights through CW Mineral Group. You can also go larger with a more known mineral rights group called Eckerd. That would require a larger investment, usually in the neighborhood of 50,000, and these are sometimes limited to your other types of investors that have over $1 million in net worth or have over 200,000 in annual income for more than a couple of years. These are called sophisticated investors. You can invest in startup businesses, and you can invest in, let's see, I have a list here. So those would be pre-public companies. You can invest in cryptocurrency. Mark J. Kohler talks about investing in cows. There's a new company called Arrived that is also, I guess, supported by Amazon and Bezos. There's a company called Cask X where you can invest in bourbon barrels, but you can't invest in things like individual bottles of bourbon or individual bottles of wine that are supposed to go up in value. That would be a collectible, like cars and artwork. You can't do that either. You can't involve family in certain lineages. You have to be careful about that. And you can't invest in other certain limitations. You might want to talk to your accountant or an attorney if you are wondering about something, or who you set up your self-directed solo 401k through. But those are some of the other types of companies that you can go through to invest with for a self-directed solo 401k, and you can invest as little as several $100s to several $1,000s as opposed to your 50 to 100,000. You can also do private notes. You can invest in limited loans to individuals that are not your family members. So these would be other ways that you can do investments through your self-directed solo 401k or checkbook IRA, checkbook solo 401k, and be able to start building that without having as much in it to start. and you can start building it to where you can do your larger investments in the future. So I wanted to give that as a set of options and set of investments, especially if you don't have as much in maybe the Roth component, or the maybe you're maxing out the Roth component and not so much the pre wait that would be the post-tax, the pre-tax component. So if you're maxing one out and not the other one so much, and you have a small amount that's available, or you made a large commitment and you have a small amount that's still available and it's just sitting there, instead of having it sit there, you can take that smaller portion and you can do that. Or you can take a portion of it and still invest in the stock market. You can just set up that portion as a like part that is invested in the stock market. If you would so choose, you just set up a account underneath the name of your self-directed solo 401k at Vanguard, or whatever company you would like to set it up at. But that company, that is the company that is controlling your solo 401k, you won't be able to do any of these alternative investments. You actually have to have a self-directed checkbook solo 401k, or a checkbook directed self-directed IRA. And that can be done at something like Checkbook IRA, or Guardian's other component for a self-directed IRA, if that's something that you would want to do. But those are some other classic ideas for doing some alternative investments for your solo 401k. Follow us for other information on the flexible life and business and everything that goes with financial independence. Suzanne will be here with me again in the future, but I just wanted to add on to our solo 401k conversation that we had with Jordan. And if you missed it, please make sure you get to that, because that is very informative as far as setting up and who you can do business with through your self-directed solo 401k. And it's very, very good. And he does a very good job of explaining it. So if you get the chance, make sure you watch that episode as well with Suzanne, myself, and Jordan Shepard. Follow us again in the future. And if you have any questions or comments, please put them in the link below. Make sure you subscribe and like, and let's follow us for more on Flex Life Fi.